Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Lebanon Board of Park Commissioners. I'd like to call the meeting to order and let the record show that all members are present. If everyone's had a chance to look at the minutes from the February meeting, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. John, did you have any old business to bring up?
Really did nothing. Update on the master plan. It's in front of DNR. There again, we'll submit it in April is when it's actually due for them to approve it, and then it'll come back for you, in front of you to accept it into the park.
So next meeting?
Yes, next
okay.
meeting it'll be there, yes.
Okay. And then, I know you put out an email, but at the last meeting in our packet, you had given us projects that
All
you
the
were
projects,
taking.
yes, I did meet with the council and the mayor, and as far as that, they're looking over all the projects that we have and looking at funding. Those projects, as you saw, we couldn't fund quite a few of them, and they will let me know if they will fund any of the projects or what projects they will fund. And still haven't heard from them as of the meeting Monday. They really hadn't discussed the monies yet. They met with all the department heads and just trying to figure out all the different projects they have going.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
And while you're up there, did you have any new business?
Really didn't, not at this time.
You might want to report on the street department.
Oh, okay, I guess that could be new business. As far as that goes, we got a grant for the environmental at the street department there on Lafayette Avenue. They're getting ready to move into their new building facility out in the business park. There again, we have to do an environmental study. We've got a grant for that will take care of that. Along with that grant, it will also do our park master plan and pay for the engineering on that. So very excited about that. That was, I think, on our park project list that we can check that box off. So that was a good thing. But yeah, we'll know more. The ball's just starting to go. Derek Warren was instrumental in getting that grant. It's a Brownsfield grant, and we done it on the Thompson Street and several other properties. The old gun club down there, as far as conservation club. So we're familiar with the Brownsfield, and thanks to Derek, they did change it where they will allow us to do a park master plan for that park. So that's good. Good news.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And if you want to go on with the director's report.
All righty. February brought some nice weather. As you can see today, it's gorgeous, and allowed us to get ahead on some outside projects. The Big Four Trail, we brought all the brush back that was enclosing the trail, cut it back and cleaned it up from Sarum Plant Road in Thorntown where that bridge is, all the way back to the trailhead, clearing it out. It's been roughly a 3-week project, and we'll be ready for asphalt work, which will start in the next month or so. And they'll start from Sarum Plant and then head towards the trailhead. And I'll inform you of that when I think we're getting ready to meet with them next week with the company. This will start at the northern end of the trail and work south to the Center Township line. We've placed decorative rocks along Southeast Street to detour cars. They were driving on the trail. Hopefully it'll prevent them from doing that. We removed about 8 trees and ground stumps, filled holes, dirt seeded and strawed, laid stone down in the last few weeks. At Abner, where new asphalt was put in, we put stone down and alleviating the trip hazard along the sides there. Prep work started 2 weeks ago on both pool vessels, been power washing and patching concrete. This will be finished by the end of the week. And then R.L. Turner started theirs, and they should be in for about a week working on the Lazy River and the run-out slide. There's concrete work to be done, removing the tile. It's starting to move after 9 years The concrete's moving, so we got to make sure that's safe for everyone. You know, it'll be done before both pools will be painted. There again, those have already been paid for, or will be paid for, the money set aside. Weather permitting, the concrete work should be done within 3 weeks, and the pool painting project should wrap up in late April or early May. We have to get that in and make sure it's dry before we start filling the pools. Thomas Ingalls recently completed his lifeguard instructor certification course, which allow us to certify all our lifeguards in-house. He certified 2 city employees today. This is a huge asset to us, and we are so thankful and proud of him for taking the responsibility. And look at Diane smiling. She's a lap swimmer. We've had trouble this past year of getting somebody in. We've been very good for the last 8 years. It's a 5:30 swim in the morning, and we had some motivated kids. Couldn't find any motivated this last year, and it's been difficult, but now we
The
have...
old ladies will be swimming.
I know. It's, but we have somebody in place now, and that's what the certification, plus it got Thomas's feet wet. They had a school teacher were gone, or in session today. Kids were out, so it was a great time to use the pool and take advantage of that. And we have a good relationship with the high school. We appreciate their use. It is just a big asset, and so proud of him for taking on the responsibility. Jonathan Llewellyn, he's one of our new hires from last year, received his core license from the Indiana State Chemist after passing the exam. He'd been going through courses at Purdue. Aaron McMaster received his CPO, Certified Pool Operator License through Spear Corporation after passing his exam as well. That was a 2-3 day class there himself. And it's just, with all the chemicals that we deal with and how to operate this equipment that we have, hundreds of thousands of dollars in the pump house that he's going to be responsible for. And he's kind of our backup. Logan Banks does a great job, but always nice to have somebody in the wings in case something happens. And Aaron took it upon himself, and it's really good that he has that education. Restrooms in the park office have been updated along with extensive cleaning of the maintenance barns, pump houses, etc. Got a lot of that done on that real cold weather. Installation of new cameras has started and will be complete within 2 weeks. That's the contract that we signed last year, along with upgrades to some of the cameras that we have. Just reaching back about 15 years ago, we had 0 cameras, having quite a bit of damage, and spoke at the Lions Club, and I just can't say enough about how helpful all these clubs are, Rotary, Lions, Kiwanis. They all do such great things, but the Lions Club, basically Roy Wood asked me to speak. I spoke. He said, what can we do for the Parks Department? They started that out, and Mr. Walton and Gene Souders, I think, were in that group at the time, and they came up with $13,000, and we got 11 cameras. Our IT department put them in, and that's how we started the cameras. Now we have them at pretty much all the parks that we have along the trail. It's just very good. I have a prosecution date tomorrow, but we prosecute probably several, anywhere from 5 to 9 each year. Prosecute vandals that are tearing up our parks. We have great camera system now, so I just wanted everybody to know that we're upgrading and keeping them upgraded. We have license plate as they're driving out, they can take a picture of their license plates if they do any stupidity out at we had somebody climbing the sledding hill the other day. Yeah, I got stuck. Anyway, but we do prosecute those people. I think there was something recently about the bathrooms. That was not any vandals. That was a Cheeto fight that they had. So yeah, there was some. It wasn't damage, but there again, it made it to Lebanon Chatter or whatever. So just wanted everybody to ease their minds, but we are catching a lot of the vandals that happened. Back then, I still remember one instance where a lady put her wedding ring and her engagement ring on her towel, swam, came back, it was gone. Thanks to great detective work, somebody tried to pawn it in Indianapolis, and they caught the person. Said he threw it away, he didn't know it was worth anything, but ended up following up, and the guy had stolen it. But it was just really great because their mom had given her that. So these cameras that in itself was worth it to me, just to see the smile on her face that her mom's ring was still there. Anyway, got off subject a little bit. I just wanted to know, Lions Club started us out with that, and we've run with it. It got too big for our IT department, which is a 1-2-man show down there. They do the eye lines. We have a good company, reputable company, and great cameras, to say the least. If you've been in there, you could definitely see how good they are. And we are prosecuting. I just want everybody to know that we are taking it serious. The old merry-go-round at Memorial Park, which had a lot of play and activity today, it had a main shaft break over the weekend. I think that was dated back to 1950s when we had this merry-go-round installed. I know a lot of people around here probably played on that merry-go-round. We had it repaired, and we'll be reinstalling it. We're putting a new paint job on it. It's supposed to be in the 20s this week, so I don't think a lot of people will be out, but we'll get that put back in as soon as we get it. But it is repairable, which we were real excited about. In the next couple of months, we'll be working on the grounds and downtown flower beds, rolling seating. We were rolling the baseball fields today and do all the athletic fields. We'll be getting them out in the next few weeks. Seeding, conditioning, treating, along with fresh mulch and trimming the bushes downtown and taking care of all the flowers and things. Our final open interview dates will be this Saturday, March 4th. That's for concession stand and lifeguards. We had a great turnout for our first round of interviews, and we still have a few openings, and are hopeful to meet lots of new faces on Saturday. Interviews will take place at our park office. We're hiring for lifeguards and concession stand workers, as I said earlier. Starting pay is $10 an hour, and applicants must be at least 15 years of age. Lifeguard certifications will take place on March 11th and 12th, and April 29th and 30th. That will be for all the new guards and some of the research that the older guards have to get recertified every 2 years. So we're excited to have Thomas Ingalls again teach these classes, and look forward to having a new lifeguards join our team. Thomas will also be certifying a couple of our employees, which he did today. Programs and events, our spring pickleball league registration's now open. We'll be offering 3 different divisions: men's, women's, and co-ed doubles. However, for a division to be played, we must have at least 4 teams. Games will be played on Tuesday evenings, and the league will run for roughly 6 weeks. You can register online or give our office a call. Registration closes March 30th, with the league starting in April. And that's pretty much what I had for any questions?
I have a quick question for you.
Great.
When was about the last time the starting pay for the lifeguards was raised?
We raised that 2 years ago.
It was? Okay.
Yeah, it was $8.50 an hour, and got approval for $10 an hour. When McDonald's jumped up their prices, we had to also, and some of the other businesses around town.
I wondered how competitive we
Yeah.
are now, because it's...
And with that raise, all the ones that had been there for 4 years got that $1.50 increase on their pay too, so that was all taken care of.
All right, thanks. Couldn't remember.
Yes. Any other questions?
Last year, we adjusted the pricing for the pool, correct?
Yes.
If I remember correctly. Okay, so
Yeah.
we aren't...
We did, and that was, I think, November, I think it was November where we all went over the pricing. Lori Frost came and presented all the numbers.
Right.
And we went through that. And, yeah, so that has been done. We have 6 pool parties available for this year, and that's all that are left for the season. Just saying, if you want a pool party, you better get it rented, because they are taken, which is crazy. It's February, or March now.
That's good, though.
It is a good thing. It really is. We have several 5Ks, a few new ones coming on, quite a few events, so they've been keeping Allison busy with signing up and all the details that they have, the insurance forms and all those things that they need to, that are required for them to run an event in the park.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question?
Yes, sir.
Couple. You mentioned pickleball.
Brent, please.
Yes.
Please don't mind.
You mentioned pickleball.
Yes.
Those courts, I saw they were patched. Do you have any plans? I know the next one's not coming in until they get funding. Do we have plans to make that better?
Yeah, we're gonna
Not
try
be
and
fun.
patch it. If you've been out there, which I think you're a player, aren't you? We're looking into those. Right now, it's still gonna freeze and thaw a little bit, so we're kind of waiting until that's over, and then we'll do it. We patched it last year, and as a player, what do you think? How'd it work out? We didn't have any complaints, but I know there's some soft spots, but
We're not going to complain, we have one.
yeah. They were packed again today. I think you rode through it. They were
Yeah.
packed. Those courts were all full again
Yeah,
today.
we'll always play. Would be
Yes.
nice to have smooth. The other question is on I also rode by the soccer fields at Reese Park today. I saw they put up the mountains. Do they have expectations, timeframes on that actually being?
They are talking May, what they were waiting for. There again, I have a meeting with the contractors every 2 weeks. I have one again next week. They're going to start a phase 2 right behind the phase 1 that they're finishing up. They have all that big hole back there with the mound of dirt. That'll be filled in. John George, I believe they contracted to have come in and a local guy to level it and seed it. And they're hoping to do it as soon as the weather breaks. They're just waiting for that last freeze and thaw, because it will settle. We all know it's going to
So they've got
settle.
like a 200-yard berm
Yes,
sitting out there right now. Is that all going to be pushed down or is that going to stay?
that is all going to be pushed down, yes. And then, but right behind it, there's going to be a big drill, because they got phase 2 that's going under 39, past Dairy Queen and all that. That's a lift station that we approved, 2 years ago or whatever, with that American Rescue Plan money that the city came into.
Okay, so that, say in the next month, that's all going to be pushed down and flattened out?
Yes, right there, April, May-ish. I just talked to Damon Crease, and he said, you start in May, 1st of May.
Start in a month.
In a month, yeah, there you go. And we do have access to water. I, again, spoke with Damon over water. We're going to pull water from a meter that we have and take care of the water issue. I don't know if you all recall that conversation, but yeah. Yeah.
Also, has anybody brought up, again, it could have been brought up before I started, that road that we sit on? What is the speed limit? 35, 40, something?
Yeah, that's got to go before the planning, zoning, and we have several parks that don't have those 20, 15 mile an hour speed limits. And yes, I am on top of that, trying to go before them to ask for them to increase or lower the speed limit. Yeah, because there's a lot of kids, you're right.
Aren't we hoping on the pickleball courts, we're hoping to grind those down and totally renew them?
Yes.
Do them, right?
Yeah, we
Not-
are going to
no
spend a
more-
whole lot of money at patching, yeah, that's real, yeah.
Something we should have done initially.
Yeah, we spent way too much on the prior, but there again, they've held up for, 4 years,
Yeah.
5 years, so, yeah.
But to make them right.
Now that we know that the expansion of the pool will not be ripping those out, so we didn't want to invest the big money to rip them out when we go and do the expansion of the pool.
Yeah, That's
So-
far enough down the road, we need to really do those right.
Yes, yeah, and
Okay.
Abner Longley's even worse. It
Yeah.
is horrible shape.
Nobody plays
John,
it.
remind me, are you saying they won't ever be relocated in the current way of thinking? Is that what you're saying now?
Yes,
Okay.
we'll shut that road off is what we'll eventually do, but the expansion is going more towards the north end of and shutting down the road from the pickleball courts on there and expanding it that way. The line of sight was the biggest thing with the engineers. The lifeguards couldn't see if we ripped out the pickleball courts and put it back there, the line of sight wouldn't be good for the guards, and for the way that it's set up now. So we actually, if we go to the north, line of sight is much better that way, and we don't have the blind spots. Even though we would have guards stationed there for the other administration, what have you, so we could see what's going on. If that makes sense, I'll explain it we'll show it maybe at the master plan when Deb comes back in April, yeah.
There's always a possibility we could move them in the future, but for right now.
Not the immediate future.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That was why we held off, is that we were afraid they're gonna have to get relocated completely with the
Exactly,
expansion.
yes.
So we kept debating and worrying about it.
Yeah.
It was a lot of discussion.
There was a lot of discussion on that, and
Yeah.
they're in horrible shape, but I think the patching did somewhat pretty good.
Yeah, it
Haven't
held
had
up.
any complaints, and in fact, people from Westfield that won the tournament, they came in and loved the courts, and Noblesville, I think, was in. You know, all these out of town coming in and winning the tournaments isn't cool, but
It's time now to.
yes.
Just for your guys' knowledge, when we talk about pickleball and its growth and moneymakers, 8 courts is all the PPA needs to run a tournament. So, and usually those tournaments for the organization, the place that they bring in, we're talking $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, depending on the size of the tournament, to whoever runs the tournament. So 8 very nice courts, lit, can run all day. For stuff like that, Spring League is nothing. Pickleball can bring in a lot of money.
That was one of the decisions, because we had a tennis court, and we only had 4 designed prior to that, and researching it, finding out that if you're going to have tournaments, which if we ever go to big-time tournaments, you have to have 8 courts, and that's some, whatever the professional group is, so it is, that's why we went with the 8 courts there.
Definitely popular.
Oh, my goodness, it is. Young, old, you see it all.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
As is disc golf tournament.
They're probably playing as we speak right now with the lights on. I know basketball is.
That's great.
Yeah, that's a given thing.
Any other questions?
You might want to just state again I think what we have 3 projects that American Rescue
Yes,
Plan money
yeah.
is going for.
Yes, we do. In fact, the site work started this week on the conservation pond for the, and there again, that's part of the engineering on that is taken care of through the American Rescue Plan, as I fumble through my paperwork. Anyway, it's the fishing pier. I don't have it handy. Fishing pier, the site work started on it, and that is taken care of by the American Rescue Plan, along with the disc golf, designing it, and also the path that is going around Abner Longley. Those were all included in that American Rescue Plan. And I think it's the top of your projects list that we discussed from last year.
Right,
Yeah.
in the packet. too.
Yeah, that
We
I
have those,
presented,
but-
yeah, that I presented to the council and the mayor.
And then
Yes.
the others, we had to have you ask the council for money to fund the other projects.
Yes, I did, yeah.
Okay. Other questions?
You did ask them about the money for the projects?
One more time?
You said they did ask them about the money, you did ask them about the money for the projects that we have on this
Yes,
list?
I did. I asked them for the money and still have not received anything. They met with all department heads trying to figure out what everybody's needs are and put it all together and see how they're going to fund it. And if they will fund it, how much of it they'll fund, what have you. But those projects that we have, we really don't have the funding to take care of those projects. It's on our master plan on down the road, a couple of them, but yeah, that was the list that we came up with last year, so.
The council in the past has been very responsive.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
When we let them know what the priority items are.
Absolutely.
And then they see evidence of those from the last list actually taking place, they've been very responsive and
Oh,
supportive.
I pulled out a 2019's needs list, and I couldn't believe all the completion that we did. Seriously, we've done a great job over the last several years, so they're
They've
very
been
responsive.
Very generous.
None
they
of them
have.
are cheap.
No, they aren't. And there's a lot of
have cheap.
people, I mean, heck, we got a new street department going in, looking at a fire department, looking at other things, so there's a lot of money's going a lot of places, and, yeah, but they're very receptive, and they see how many people are out at the park. You can't help but drive by and see, 1,000 people, and it's like, okay. COVID brought that to everybody's attention, I think, too, a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Everybody went
Yesterday,
out.
Memorial Park was packed.
Yes.
It was today,
I'm
too.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I'd like to see us developing some down at Abner Longley and the conservation pond, because we've been talking about that for a
Yeah,
long
that
time.
would be nice, the trails through there and the fishing pier, and hopefully these projects, the other project that's getting funded, I just remembered, I'm sorry, I don't have that with me, but is the restrooms that are going at the trailhead.
Trailheads.
Yeah, and there again, those aren't going to be, anyway, they'll be nice. They'll be nice enough for the trail and the bikers, so they have some
Will
place
it
to
be
go back.
similar to the one downtown?
Pretty
but-
close to that, only with the split face block like we've gone in our designs all the way through. So it'll have a frontage, it'll still have portalets, I believe, inside, but it'll be nice. Yeah, but we won't have to, some other things carrying on in there. Won't have to clean them, which every restroom we clean, we work 7 days a week on cleaning the restrooms, so not all of them are open. We'll be opening those soon. I think we have a few more 20-degree days where I don't want any of the pipes to freeze, so we'll be opening up the other one by the playground in Memorial, and we'll open up the Abner Longley. We'll open those up hopefully in the next couple months. We're cleaning them now, in preparation.
I just thought of something I was going to mention to you. You know how people love the all-inclusive playground.
Yes.
It's a big deal, and it's used a lot. The signage that we have near the entrance to that is kind of small print.
It is small print, isn't it?
The reason I bring it up is that I have on more than one occasion seen people take their dogs inside the playground, and I think especially families with young children aren't necessarily wanting their kids to be around, I'll say strange dogs that
Yeah.
aren't part of their family, plus the mess that they can possibly bring in. Could we have like a separate sign maybe on that
We
gate or
can, or I
something to
could
remind
put it in
people
our,
of that?
design that we have, the black signage that we have. I can put out rules, maybe make it a little bit bigger. I'll get prices on that and
I'm not
go
sure
for
that
it.
people are necessarily disobeying. I
Oh,
just don't
gosh,
think
it's
they
small. I mean,
know what they are.
you see me, I have
We
glasses.
can point
so-
out to them, but.
Well, there again, we've had skateboarders on there, on and on. I can go on and on with some of the things that carried on in there. Yeah, which is pretty
Using the benches to
frustrating.
jump over the fence instead
Oh,
of. using the
yeah,
gate.
when the kids were out there Saturday, when I saw them jumping on that, a kid climbed on the bench to get over, and he
Yes.
leaned on the fence, and I said, "What do you think?" He said, "Well, I didn't know where the gate was." I said, "Wrong answer," you know. It's like, yeah, and there
You got
again.
in there somehow.
Didn't get him for criminal mischief, but as far as that, he knew he did wrong, and after an apology and a little conversation, which I'm good at giving a long, yeah, I have 4 kids, so I'm very good at speaking for him. So, yeah, I bored him to death, and he knows not to do that anymore.
Okay, so if you can look into a sign.
Yes, I will.
Thanks.
Okay, if everyone's had a chance to look over the claims, I'd entertain a motion to approve the claims.
So moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second? Second. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Then I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion to adjourn and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Very excited today to see this facility hitting a milestone for us, continuing to provide those opportunities for children in our community, but then also provide other opportunities for restaurants, retail, all of those things that strong communities want and need.